Hi everyone, before we begin, I want to point out that this video is just a prediction. What you're about to see is our view of what could happen. So keep an open mind and enjoy. Hung appears with a dark scheme. The lives of Jack and 210 are gradually settling down after busy days. Jack has just completed the sale of his house for over 9 billion VND and is preparing to open a new company, while 2TN continues to work diligently on her farm, always being a spiritual support for him. However, they're unaware that a lurking danger is approaching. Hung, who was once Jack's secretary and betrayed him in the past by selling confidential information from his old company to competitors, has not given up her desire for revenge. Her jealousy and envy resurface as she sees Jack happy with 2TN and beginning to achieve new successes. In the previous episode, Hung secretly took photos of Jack and 2TN at the farm while they were tending to the corn and chatting intimately. These photos, which were meant to be their memories, have now become weapons in Hung's hands. She quietly devises a plan, starting with using the photos to spread rumors aimed at shaking Jack and 2TN's relationship and ruining Jack's reputation before he can open his company. Development. Rumors and suspicion creep in. Hung begins her actions by spreading rumors within the community and on social media. She releases gossip claiming that Jack is only using 2TN to get money to open his company, that he is not truly serious about her and only sees her as a stepping stone to return to his former successful life. The secretly taken photos are cleverly edited by Hung, leading viewers to misunderstand that Jack is engaging in shady behavior behind 2TN's back. The rumors quickly spread, reaching even Jack's acquaintances, including Luan, his close friend who is helping him find a location for the company. Jack starts to notice changes. Some potential partners he was negotiating with suddenly withdraw, citing that they do not want to collaborate with someone with an unclear reputation. Meanwhile, 2TN also hears whispers from the people around the farm. Although she trusts Jack deeply, she cannot help but feel uneasy. One day, Hung sends 2TN a direct message with the edited photos, accompanied by the text, "Are you sure Jack really loves you? He's just using you to get money." The photos show Jack in intimate conversation with another woman, actually a manipulated image from one of his business meetings. 2TN is stunned. She doesn't want to believe it, but the images before her eyes make her heart confused. She chooses to remain silent, not telling Jack about the message or the growing doubts in her heart. Jack, on the other hand, notices that 2TN is becoming distant. She smiles less, and her eyes often avoid him. He presses her, but 210 only says she is tired and needs time to rest. Suspicion silently creeps into their relationship, just as Hung intended. Climax, kidnapping, and a dramatic confrontation. Seeing that the rumors are not enough to break Jack and 2TN's relationship, Hung decides to take her plan to a new level. She hires a group of strangers to kidnap 2TN while she's alone at the farm. One afternoon, while Jack is busy inspecting a location with Juan, 2TN is suddenly overpowered by the group and taken to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. Frightened but strong, 210 tries to stay calm and find a way to contact the outside world, but her phone has been confiscated. Hung appears before 2TN, no longer hiding her hatred. She reveals that she once had feelings for Jack, but he never noticed her. Her betrayal in the past was the result of hurt and anger from being rejected by Jack. Now, she wants him to lose everything: love, career, and future. Hung sends Jack a short video showing 210 tied up along with a threat. If you don't abandon your plan to open the company and leave 2TN, she will never return. Upon receiving the message, Jack is nearly driven mad with worry and anger. He immediately contacts Luan and explains the entire situation. The two quickly devise a plan to search for 2TN. Based on details in the video, such as the distant sound of a train whistle, they guess the area where Hung is holding her. Meanwhile, Tu Tien attempts to free herself. She discovers a piece of broken glass in the warehouse and uses it to cut the ropes, but before she can act, Hung returns. Jack and Wan finally locate the warehouse. A tense confrontation ensues. Jack rushes in to overpower Hung's men, while Wan calls the police for support. Amid the chaos, Jack faces Hung directly. She smirks maliciously and says, "Do you think you deserve happiness? I will make you lose everything, just like how you abandoned me." Jack responds coldly, "I never intended to hurt you, but you have no right to destroy my life and Tu Tien's." The argument ends as the police arrive, arresting Hung and her accomplices. Reunion and lessons learned. After rescuing Tu Tien, Jack holds her tightly in his arms, both unable to hold back their tears. Tu Tien confesses the doubts she had kept in her heart because of Hung's message. Jack explains everything, recounting his past with Hung and affirming that he truly loves Tu Tien and never intended to use her. Though still a bit shaken, Tu Tien chooses to trust Jack and overcome this storm with him. Hung is arrested by the police and must face the law for kidnapping and threats. Jack and Tu Tien decide not to dwell on the past, but they cannot forgive what Hung has done. Through this ordeal, they realize that both love and careers need to be built on a foundation of trust and determination. Jack continues with his plan to open the company, while Tu Tien becomes his greatest source of motivation. The drama ends with Jack and Tu Tien standing together at the farm, looking toward the future. However, the story leaves some open questions. Will Hung truly give up her desire for revenge? And what secrets from Jack's past might be revealed in the future? These details open up possibilities for future episodes, promising more drama and emotion. The afternoon sun cast a soft golden glow over Tu Tien's small farm, filtering through the trees and spilling on her modest garden. She was busy repairing the pigsty, her hands moving deftly despite the faint weariness in her eyes. Ever since she started taking her medicine, Tu Tien had been plagued by drowsiness, but she never complained. For her, the farm work was a source of joy, a way to push past the sleepy haze that often clouded her days. Her thoughts were interrupted by the ring of her phone. It was Jack's mother, whom she affectionately called Aunt, on the line, her voice warm and caring. "Tu Tien, are you at home today or out harvesting?" "I'm at the farm, Aunt," Tu Tien replied gently. "How have you been feeling since starting the medicine?" "I'm fine, Aunt. Just a little sleepy, that's all." Aunt urged her to eat well and take care of herself, even inviting her to come visit. Tu Tien smiled and promised to make time. She knew Aunt treated her like a daughter, especially since she'd begun treatment. The brief conversation left her heart warm. Hanging up, she gazed out at the distant fields, silently resolving to stay strong, not just for herself, but for those who cared about her, especially Jack. Meanwhile, back at home, Jack had just returned from scouting locations with Juan. He stepped inside and greeted his mother. "Mom, I'm back." She was watching the news, turning to him with a smile. "Sit down, son. How's work going?" Jack settled in and recounted his progress on starting a company. The legal paperwork was done, but he hadn't found a suitable site yet. He needed a workshop around 1,000 square meters, but the spacious places lacked infrastructure, while the ready ones were too small. His mother listened intently before offering her thoughts. "In my opinion, you don't need to start with a big workshop. Look at Uncle Tang. He began modestly, and he's kept it going all these years. Why don't you reach out to him?" Jack nodded thoughtfully, though his heart yearned for something grander. He didn't just want to fulfill his grandfather's dying wish, to heal and help the poor. He also wanted to test his limits and carve his own path. He told his mother, I want quality to come first and to help those truly in need. I know this path is tough, but I want to try, Mom. His mother gazed at him, her eyes a mix of pride and concern. She saw the fire of ambition in her son, but she also knew the road he'd chosen wouldn't be easy. That night, Jack sat quietly at his desk, lost in thought. He mulled over his mother's words, Uncle Tang's example, and the upcoming trip abroad. He decided to visit Hong, a successful friend overseas, to gain experience before launching his company. It was a hasty decision, but he believed it was necessary to prepare thoroughly. The next morning, he called Tu Tien to share his plans. She was studying, and her heart sank slightly as she listened. Will you be gone long? She asked, her voice tinged with sadness. I'm not sure yet, but I'll call you often, Jack reassured her. Tu Tien nodded silently through the phone, though he couldn't see. She knew Jack was under immense pressure, and she wanted to support him fully. Don't worry about me. I'll visit Aunt so she won't feel lonely, she said. Jack smiled faintly. I've asked Mom to check on you too. Just promise me you'll take your medicine regularly. All I want is for you to be healthy. Tu Tien replied, Yes, don't worry. I'm hoping for good news soon too. The call ended, but a quiet ache of longing had already settled into both their hearts, even though Jack hadn't yet left. Late that afternoon, Jack arrived at Tu Tien's place with a bag full of supplies, rice, milk, noodles, her favorite, and some snacks. She looked at him, surprised. Why'd you buy so much? I can't eat all this. I'll be gone a few days. I don't want you running out of anything, Jack said with a grin, setting the bag down. Tu Tien offered to cook a proper meal to send him off, but Jack waved it off. Noodles are fine. I like simple things. She agreed, heading to the kitchen to prepare 2 bowls of instant noodles. When she brought them out, Jack's eyes lit up. Looks delicious. You even added herbs and scallions. They sat down to eat, chatting as they did. Tu Tien recalled the first time Jack had made noodles for her, back when she'd been clueless about instant ramen. Jack laughed. You were so cute then. Now you cook better than me. Afterward, they sat sipping water under the soft glow of a lamp. Tu Tien, ever thoughtful, reminded him to pack warm clothes and medicine, worried about the cold weather abroad. Jack teased, I'm strong as an ox. Don't fuss over me. But he relented, promising to pack carefully. That evening, Jack left to finish some work, but not before promising to return later. As she walked him to the door, Tu Tien's heart felt heavy. Take care of yourself, okay? She said softly. Jack turned back, giving her a gentle hug. I'll be back soon. The next morning, Jack headed to the airport. Before boarding, he texted Tu Tien, I'm off. Be good, okay? She replied, safe flight. I'll wait for you. The flight lasted a few hours, but to Jack, it felt endless. He missed Tu Tien, his mother, and their little home back in the village. When he landed, he called her immediately. Seeing her face on the screen eased his homesickness. I'm here. It's beautiful. I'll send you pictures, he said. Over the next few days, Jack immersed himself in learning from home. He toured his friend's company, taking meticulous notes. Yet every night, he called Tu Tien, sharing stories of the new things he'd seen. Back home, she kept her promise, staying healthy and visiting Aunt. Though miles apart, their bond held strong through each call. 2 months later, Jack returned. He'd lost a little weight, but his eyes burned with determination. Tu Tien met him at the airport, throwing her arms around him without a word. I'm back, he whispered. At home, he shared his experiences with his mother and Tu Tien. He decided to start small, as his mother suggested, finding a modest workshop and partnering with local healers for medicinal herbs. I want to help our people, like Grandpa wished, he told Tu Tien. She smiled, I believe in you. Time passed, and Jack's company took shape. Together with Tu Tien, he traveled the village, bringing medicine to the poor. Each smile they received fueled their joy. Though the work was hard, they knew they were on the right path, one of compassion and ambition. The story ends at dusk on the farm, where Jack and Tu Tien stand side by side, gazing toward the horizon. They'd overcome challenges, and now their dream was slowly coming to life.